Hi, 5th grade. We are on Domain 4, Adventures of Don Quixote, Lesson 3, Quixotic Behavior. Our objectives for today are to identify and explain how the author's word choice and use of figurative language affect the text of the Adventures of Don Quixote, and identify the structure and parts of a persuasive essay. So, we're going to give you guys some time to read through the chapter for today. As you are reading through it, make sure you take your time and reading carefully so you understand what is going on in the text. Okay, our word work for today is quixotic. Cervantes' description of Don Quixote's adventures and behavior gave rise to a new word that is a synonym for idealistic, and that is quixotic. In the same way that Don Quixote is often idealistic in an unrealistic way, quixotic is describing someone or something that is exceedingly idealistic and unrealistic. It's kind of like out there. And the part of speech is an adjective. So reviewing what we talked about in our last lesson, an opinion is a personal view or belief, whereas a fact is true and can be proven. When we write our own opinions, we're trying to persuade someone that our opinion is valid or correct, and it's important to provide reasons. The more reasons you give, the stronger your opinion is valid. So instead of simply stating, walking outside in the rain is the best. Okay. I know a lot of people won't agree with that. But if I say, because the earth smells so fresh and clean, and the rain hitting the ground is just a very peaceful sound, those are giving more reasons as to why my opinion might be correct or valid. Again, it doesn't mean that someone's going to completely change their opinion on it. It just means that I'm trying to persuade you that my way is the better way. So we are going to be working on a unit project. What you're going to be doing throughout this unit is writing a persuasive essay to argue that the actions of Don Quixote are justifiable or not. So what that means is what he's doing, is it acceptable or not? So to argue in writing means to present an opinion in a reasoned, logical way. You're going to be asked when writing this essay to support your opinion using examples from the text. And the purpose of this essay is to persuade or convince someone else that you are right, that he is being justifiable or he's not being justifiable. So a persuasive essay is made up of several paragraphs with the following elements. It has a title, a hook lead to draw on the reader, information about the topic or text, an opinion statement or claim that's argued, and reasons that support your opinion or claim, and a conclusion that restates the opinion and claim. And we're going to break this down throughout the unit, so don't think you're going to have to write this all at once. We're going to break it down as we go through. So this right here is an example of a persuasive essay. Now this is to go along with a previous unit lesson that you've learned in previous grades. We didn't want you to use an example from this one because obviously that would be copying and we don't want to do that. So this would be an example of a persuasive essay. Have you ever read a story that made you want to shout at the main character? That right there was my hook. That's to get you interested in wanting to read what I'm reading or what I'm writing. In the Brothers Grimm tale, The Fisherman and His Wife, a fisherman asks a magic fish to grant his greedy wife's wishes. The fisherman always wants what his wife says, even when she asks for the power to make the sun and moon rise and set. The fisherman is a fool and should have acted differently in the story. That last one is my claim. That is my opinion to end out my paragraph. The fisherman is a fool because, now I'm giving you my reasons. He allows his wife to bully him into asking for the fish for extravagant things. For her first two wishes, the wife wants a bigger home for each time. She's only satisfied for a week. In these early wishes, the fisherman should have recognized that his wife's greed was growing too fast for their own good. Once the wife gets her bigger home, then she decides she wants to be queen, and then she wants the power to control the sun and the moon. Why on earth would the fisherman think it's okay to ask for such power for his wife? The fisherman is also a fool because he ignores the increasing signs of danger each time he asks the magic fish to grant another ridiculous wish. Each time the fisherman returns to the sea to ask the magic fish to grant a wish, the sea is darker and more dangerous. The fisherman should have recognized the warning in the sea color and movement changes. If he had recognized just how dangerous the sea was becoming, he could have stood up to his wife in time to stop her. Now, as my conclusion. The fisherman should have had the courage to refuse to ask the magic fish to grant more wishes. By ignoring the growing greed of his wife and increasing danger of the sea, the fisherman and his wife got what they deserved in the end. This tale reminds us all to be very careful what we wish for. So you notice that my last paragraph is meant to review what my argument was previously. This is an example of a kind of persuasive essay we're going to be looking for in this unit. So this is the structure of your essay. So you're going to have an introductory paragraph, a body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2, and a concluding. So your essay will have a total of 4 paragraphs. Remember, each paragraph has to be 3 to 5 sentences long. So your introductory paragraph is going to hook the reader and tell what your opinion is. Your second paragraph is going to be your first reason why you think that way. Your second paragraph can be the second reason, and the conclusion is just going to restate what you believe and leave that reader with a final thought. So the introductory paragraph should include a hook that introduces the topic and states the opinion. The topic is introduced by stating the title and author, and then you have a strong opinion about the main character is stated. So that strong opinion is also known as the thesis, which is a provable or arguable claim that can be supported with evidence from the story. So you're going to hear me reference thesis a lot, so it's really important to understand that the claim, opinion, and thesis, they're all the same thing. They just mean the exact same thing. They're just different words. It is the writer's opinion and is what the writer is trying to persuade the reader to believe. Now, in the body paragraphs, each body should include a reason to support the opinion using evidence from the text. You can't just say, because I said so. That's not a very strong evidence. We want you to pull directly from the text. So the first sentence of each one states the reason. So the fisherman is a fool because. That was my first sentence of leading into what my reason was. We do not have, I know you guys don't have the text right in front of you. That's okay. You can still refer back to give explanations. And most of the time you can remember things that happen in the story without saying word for word what happens. And that will still give the same sort of support for your evidence. And each body paragraph should have a topic sentence and a supporting piece of evidence to bolster or build up your claim. The evidence can be a direct quote, so you can, however, it can be just a description of what's happening. And then, of course, you have your conclusion. You should attempt to persuade the reader again to agree with you, and then final thought. So remember, the final thought in my essay, was, be careful what you wish for. That leaves the reader with like a final thought to think about as they read, like, you're right, maybe he was being a fool. So the opinion from the introductory should be restated. The next sentence should persuade the reader to agree with the opinion. And then remember that final one should be, we should be careful what we wish for. That should be the final thought. So remember, the conclusion paragraph, you want to leave a lasting impression for your readers. You want them to really think about, okay, maybe they have the right idea. So you want it to end on a strong note. The paragraph should not be lengthy, so your conclusion and your intro shouldn't be very long. Your body paragraph should be longer because those have a lot more information in them. So the intro or the conclusion should just be a summation of what you've already talked about. And we're very familiar with this. Let me put my video away. This is another rubric. This is what your teacher is going to assess your essay on. Now, keep in mind, we're going to be writing this essay throughout the unit, so don't feel pressured to write everything all at once. But as you read through this, and you'll see this a couple times throughout the unit, but as you're writing, you should always refer back to this rubric because this rubric is going to tell you where you land. So remember, we always want to aim for exemplary. Now, if you do go into strong, that's okay, but we want to aim for this. So did you have a strong opinion stated? Did you have a hook? Did you introduce the ideas, your body? Were all your reasons supported? Your conclusion, did you restate? Did you end with a final thought? Did you follow the structure we've talked about previously? That's what you're going to aim for. So when you write your drafts or brainstorm throughout this lesson or throughout the lessons, and when we ask you to start writing these things, refer back to this. It is your best friend, because this is what's going to help you be graded stronger. And because if you don't refer to this, you don't really know what you're being graded on. Rubrics are very powerful with that because it's telling you exactly what we want. Now, we're not going to start our persuasive essay today. For your assessment, you're actually going to just answer some comprehension questions about the chapter you read at the beginning of this lesson. And we will see everyone in our next lesson.